Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and this time I'm going to be sharing my thoughts on how 1.4 is currently looking right now. If you didn't know, Outlook posted a number of teasers for 1.4, so that's what I'm going to be talking about today. By the way, everything I say here should be taken with a grain of salt, because these are just teasers. 1.4 hasn't actually released yet, so anything can change. Let's start off with the Tails teasers. He is the worst character in TD as of right now. So I'm very happy to know that he's getting a big rework. First, we have gotten a picture and a small clip showing that Tails can actually carry people while gliding. You can press a button to get onto a Tails if he's close enough to you while gliding. Honestly, I love this change. It finally makes so that his mid-ass arm cannon isn't his only tool to help others and is really unique too. You are basically giving a free mobility option to all survivors since you can carry them really far with glide. We all hate arm cannon's delay, even after the buff of making the delay go from 0.2 to 0.15 seconds. However, this is finally getting a really handy buff, because it's now going to go to a 0.1 second delay, which practically makes the delay non-existent. So his arm cannon can now finally be a lot more consistent. However, after all these buffs, we have actually gotten a nerf for Tails. Because in one of Outlake's recent teasers, we actually see that Tails' HP is actually 90. This is a super bad nerf, because he's now 2-shot to Sonic EXE, and if you've played him, you know how powerful he is. And just in general, it makes him really weak, as you can't use red rings as much as possible without becoming 2-shot. In my opinion, they really shouldn't have done this. Tails was already really weak since glide is too slow to get you anywhere, so this just makes him really fragile. However, still, these are some really good buffs for Tails which will make him way more useful than now. Next up, we see that Knuckles, after a long time, has finally gotten a new ability. It's called Charge Punch, and basically, it's just punch but with a dash. Speaking of punch, it has actually gotten a nerf because it now has a 20-second cooldown. I genuinely believe this might be one of the greatest reworks to come out of TD. It not only makes Knuckles more balanced by nerfing him, it also finally gives more variety to his moveset by adding another ability. However, like I said, it is just punch with the dash, so I really hope we see this ability to be more unique than punch. Overall, I'm liking what Outlake's got cooking for Nux. Now then, we move on to Sally and Cream, whose abilities are getting reworked in how they function. Instead of you having to walk up to a person to heal or shield, you can just click on the player's health bar to heal or shield them. Again, in my opinion, this is a fantastic quality of life update. As a semi-Sally main, you cannot believe how frustrating it is to try to shield someone. I have to swerve around so many people to try to reach the player to shield, and I swear, I despise when I'm trying to shield this guy. This random guy comes out of nowhere and just steals the player's shield, and then the person I was trying to shield just coincidentally died. I wonder why. Anyways, this is super nice for me and others, and we finally don't have to suffer and go to hell and back to try and shield or heal somebody. Next up, we got Shadow with a brand new ability. I think, basically, Shadow will have a bar which you can fill up by doing something. Now, I don't know if this will give access to a new ability or if it's like a boost to one of our stats, because Outlook didn't show anything except the bar, so what it will do is up for us to predict. However, one really cool ability I suggest is if you manage to fill up the bar, you can use a brand new ability called Chaos Control. Basically, after activating it, you can aim anywhere to teleport like 34 studs. And you can also use this even if your bar isn't full. Like for example, if it's half full, you will teleport 20 studs instead. And I think this is a good concept since it teleports you real far, so it rewards you heavily if you fill up the bar. And after that, we have gotten to the biggest teaser by far. Eggman is practically getting all of his abilities reworked and buffed. To start off, we have a really big Zapper rework teaser, showing that Zapper's slowdown lasts less, but slows down EXE more. And after that, we see that it now also has 2 more functions too. That's right, you can now also shoot your turret and metal to give them a boost in their stats. If you shoot metal, you will give him 50 HP overheal, a speed boost, and his push now goes way faster. And shooting your turret gives them a range buff, fire rate buff, and they have 50% more ammo. Speaking of turrets, it has gotten its range decreased, and you only have 3 of them. However, to make up for this, it inflicts more slowness, cuts down EXE's launch even more, and is also more resistant to attacks. It also has a brand new model and a new animation for fixing, and it actually builds up slower, but builds up by 20% more instead of 10% every schmack. And finally, the last and most smallest change is that Eggman's fully charged jetpack will now bring him further. We don't need a genius to tell us that this is an absolutely ginormous and insane buff. The Zapper change makes it so much more versatile because you can now use it in many different situations. And yes, it is questionable whether if the turrets got buffed or not. I'd say that it's honestly a fair rework. Instead of it being really easy to figure out spots for it due to its sheer range, it now makes it more balanced and you have to be more strategic while placing it, and you also have to use them smartly since you only have 3 of it. But if it works, it works! Like I said, it slows them down more and also cuts down EXE's launch even more. And finally, Jetpack just got a raw buff directly to its fully charged version, so nothing much to say there. All in all, this is by far an immaculate rework and buff to Eggman, making him so much better at slowing and useful in many different situations. Now there are a few more teasers left, but they are relatively small, so I'm just gonna go ahead and speed over them. The first teaser is that Silver's orb is actually getting replaced by a completely different ability. And honestly, I think this is a terrible change. Orb is by far Silver's best ability, as you can use it to help out others by stunning EXE, and it is also by far the best and probably his only good self-defense ability, because Barrier is trash, utterly garbage, one might even say putrid and abhorrent, and Speed Radius is a support move. Next, after Metal self-destructs, he will not be able to turn into a minion, and his body parts will be sprayed all over the floor. Rest in peace. After that, I have actually heard that Blaze might be becoming a debuffer in 1.4. Now, I'm not sure how believable this leak might be, so take it with a big grain of salt. I've heard people say that Outlick has said that she is actually not becoming a debuffer and they were only just testing it out, and that a lot of testers actually don't like the idea of it, but I don't know much about it. And at last, Rouge is actually getting her remote trap replaced by another ability. Now at this point, I'm not sure how many more times Rouge is gonna get reworked, but I am praying to God that for once, Rouge actually becomes a good character in this update, because I swear, this girl has gotten updated almost every single update, and she has consistently remained mid. So, Outlick, please, I am literally begging, just give her a good ability. Anyways, with that over, that is all for this video. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to like, subscribe, and share this video with everybody you know. Alright, thank you guys for watching, and have a good day.